So thanks for having me. So I'm Lisa. I work in OPeLS, Older Persons Integrated Health Service, and I am their advanced OT. I have several roles which span from hospital into community, into residential aged care, and also down into the emergency department. So the Older Persons Liaison Service, I'm just going to call it OPeLS for short, so another acronym. So one of the reasons why I love this role is because of the amount of support that we get to adapt the role according to the needs of the clients, as well as the health service. So over the last year, we've noticed that the hospital and the rural sites are full to capacity, and due to bed pressure, Respite is being utilised more and more as a discharge plan for those who are medically stable, but there is still a barrier to their discharge home into community. These reasons that we've found are usually waiting for families to come from interstate, waiting for mass equipment or service implementation. Some of those are the ones that have weight-bearing restrictions and aren't ready to participate in rehab yet, or those with slow resolving deliriums. So as you can imagine, the simple discharges from Respite, they come and go, but it's those ones with complex needs or a lack of, family and formal supports that are at higher risk of actually transitioning into permanent care when they actually really wanted to go home. So in the hospital, with the priority tools, the allied health ceases, unfortunately. This means that Respite clients aren't necessarily getting the same workup and discharge planning as those that would be heading directly home. We're also aware of the lack of availability at times for allied health whilst in Respite, or that the skill mix or the funding doesn't actually extend to those that are wanting to transition home. So this is the gap that we want to fill. Our aim is to increase the continuity of care between Queensland Health and residential aged care. This includes building trust with the clients and their families, that they're not just going to be discharged into Respite with no support. I do think it would potentially reduce the anxiety of using it as a discharge option. I think reducing the fear and skepticism about Respite could actually improve the experience for the client, their family, and also the staff looking out for them in res care. We really want to support the staff trying to get them home. And that may be small suggestions about, encouraging independence or keeping their goals in line. One of the potential benefits would be a reduction in the unexpected extensions of Respite. This could actually improve the flow of or better turnover and availability for the other clients needing that as a discharge option. Next up we have,
next slide.
Yep, next slide.
Sorry,
I'm jumping ahead.
One
more after that. No.
Next one.
One more ahead. Okay, so how do we help? Ideally, I'd really like to receive the majority of the referrals before they even get out to Respite, but I'm very happy to accept referral from you, the care managers as well. Where possible, I like to meet them beforehand, educate the inpatient team about potential barriers to discharging home or to Respite. For instance, the benefits of having a power of attorney to come with them. The role of the hospital discharge planners won't vary. OPeLS is purely supplementary to those clients that are appropriate. So it's the paperwork's still going to come from the same place. It's still going to be the same quality. It's just sometimes it's going to be additional. As an OT, I can conduct home visits. I can get a lot of the pre-prescribed equipment in place, attend family meetings and provide support to family. One of the great things about having such an integrated team is that it's really quite accessible for me to link with clinical nurses and other allied health as it comes up. But the main goal is to optimise all opportunities and advocate for the client to go home if that's what they want to, even if there is a level of risk there. So, next slide, please. I keep forgetting about that. So the people that may be appropriate for us is those that are consenting, that are engaging with their discharge planning, those that are really high risk of readmission to hospital or complex needs, or those that are at risk of premature admission to permanent care. This is actually a slightly old slide, but some of the things, one of the roles that we think we can do with this is actually those that have come out with, say, weight bearing or timely, if you think they need inpatient rehab or more allied health and is actually available from yours or our service, we've been doing some really good linkages with SACU, which is the older person's rehab unit, as well as the transition care programming community. So those that aren't actually falling into our remit at the moment are those that plan to enter residential aged care permanently, those that need NDIS complex assessment if they don't have a discharge destination, or those that are simple enough for families to discharge them easily back home. So next slide, please. So the email remains the same. So RACF in-reach referrals, just attention OPeLS. But either way, it gets triaged pretty quickly and comes through to us. We appreciate a good referral is so helpful. It saves with duplication. And it actually means that I'm more likely to be able to see more clients without having to sit at a desk and do a lot of paperwork. We just get to have more successes together. As I said before, happy to accept the referral from the treating team, but also the care managers in each facility. Unfortunately, at the moment, we are limited to Cairns region. I'm also contactable via phone call. So even in the rules, if there's something pops up and you just want to talk through it, let me know. But we do really appreciate that complex discharge planning, it takes time. So as early as you can flag it with us, you know, not just a couple of days before discharge, but if they're coming out to you for a few weeks, flag it early, and that way we can usually get them out on time. So thanks for letting me speak. I know it's a lot of information at once, but yeah, we're here and we're here to help.
Thank you very much, Lisa. That was great. And I've put those details in the chat there as well. Sorry, I had difficulty with the slide. It came and overtook my screen. I'll just grab the agenda. Who would have thought I missed some face-to-face meetings? So no questions, anybody? Lovely. Can the hospital social worker gather the information? I missed that before it dropped out, sorry. Before being discharged from hospital.
Yeah, so we've already started rolling out the in-services for some of the inpatient teams. Social work was the first. You know, they're very involved with anyone heading out to Respite from hospital. So they were first cab off the rank. And so far, I've gotten 3 more referrals from them in less than a week. So yeah, definitely.
Lovely. Maria has, oh, Irene's just typing.
Yeah, so Lisa, I will ask a question that if a resident coming in from interstate, so and they want to see the OT, do you take the referrals from interstate? So, for example, one of my residents recently came in as a respite, so and want to be permanent, but they got a package money. It is an HSBC package, house home package money that left over. They want to utilize that money to buy equipments which is needed. So they need a OT review.
Yeah. So is that for the intention of heading home, or is it for going permanent?
Don't know yet because family not decided yet. So they told that there's for money because at the moment he's sort of bedridden. So need like we can provide basic things like air mattresses and basic like wheelchairs and sort of things, but
yeah,
specialized equipments that's where that they're looking at at this stage.
And do you actually have access to any OTs within the facility at the moment? they're probably the
we-
first point of call. But
Okay.
if in doubt, just email us, just talk to us. Yeah, I
Yeah, because-
understand that.
Because the
Yeah.
only problem is that it's a respite. So that is where that they're seeking that big. I got physios coming in from Ankara. So yeah, that's what I just thought of ask you that if they want, because if a respite comes in that we need to charge them
Okay.
for the referral that, yeah.
You could actually charge that to the home care package. So there may not be any out-of-pocket cost to the client. You know, we in this role, like I'm one full-time equivalent and I work in 4 different branches of the team. So wherever we can actually broker out to a private service or an existing OT, that's preferable. But if you really do get stuck and they can't, or if you just need some advice about talking through how to go about the best of it, just give me a call. Yeah, I'm more than happy to help.
Thank you. No worries. Thank
No
you.
worries.
You've got a
And
question.
so I'm just reading your comment.
That's Irene.
Yep. Can the hospital social worker gather the information before? Yep. I have issues just trying to get information from the Respite residents out remote rural M6. Before discharge, someone needs to ensure that all required assistance MDT team needs to be identified in an Aboriginal mission. That's
So it's
sounds
social work.
complex, yeah.
Very much the social work as
Yeah.
well.
And so, as I said, I'm not hoping to take over that social work discharge planning role. This is additional, is an identified location. Oh, okay. Yeah, it definitely, I do feel for the inpatient teams with the amount of capacity that they have, but I think we need to keep doing it better.
Yeah.
Does that answer the question?
Yeah, I think Lisa's role is very much sort of on the other side of the hospital, so that community facing, other than sort of going to meet the patient on the hospital, just to sort of start building that rapport, very much a community focused position as opposed to the workup that they receive when they're in hospital.
Most don't have phones.
Yeah.
Okay. Definitely some barriers there.
Thanks, Irene. Look, we are trying to get, and we'll come up for our after hours action plan breakfast. We're trying to make sure that we can actually have a dial in Teams. It's not the ideal setup for a co-design session, but if you want to register for that, Irene, you might have some useful information come out of that session for you. Even if you can't participate, you might be able to listen in on what's happening. You can watch the links from the RAS older persons team from the hospital. Jill will be there. You might have some extra information that you didn't know was available. It's always good, but obviously being so far away, we understand remote is how we live and we just do the best we can. So I'll send you that link again and come to it shortly anyway. So I'll move on to our next item and I'll just grab that agenda on my screen. So thank you again, Lisa. Anyone else have any questions? Sorry, I shouldn't jump to conclusions there. Anyone else? Great, you've all got details from Lisa and I'm sure they'll be happy to reach out and answer any other questions. Thanks again.